What up, Pam, my nigga? First of all, happy MLK Day. Let me start off with that. I need you to check out this real shit right here, alright? I got that heat for the streets that I know your ass gonna like. Come fuck with your boy. What about it? $20?
Nah, I'm good.
I'm good. The fuck is that? We out here, we brothers in the same struggle. You gonna play me? Fuck you, Uncle Tom. Nigga ain't even black. Joe, dusty ass suit on.
Hi. Every 53 seconds, an ignorant black man accuses another black man of being less black than him, or even calls him white. So what you're saying is it's not black to wear a suit. It's not black to be well-spoken. It's not black to not want your homemade rap CD. When I hear that shit, it makes me want to sit his stupid black ass down and explain to him the importance of education. The opportunities available to one after going to college. Shit, that he could even be the president of the United States of fucking America. However, I'm not going to do that. But I'll tell you what I will do. Bitch.
I have already pointed out that while describing the situation in which black leaders develop support in the black community and then turn their backs on the black community once they achieve some success, Cornel West does not discuss the role that racists or racism plays in this behavior of the black leaders. Cornel West does not discuss these black leaders in any human terms. Are the black leaders conscious of their behavior? Is it voluntary behavior? What do these black leaders think or feel about the moral, ethical, political, or historical implications of their behavior? Another thing which Cornel West does not discuss, another group that he does not discuss in any human terms, are black people themselves, the blacks affected by the black leaders' behavior. How do black people feel about this custom of the black leaders, claiming to represent the black community only to turn their backs on the black community? As human beings, blacks do have a reaction to this. Black people experience and give evidence of that very human feeling of feeling betrayed. Blacks express this feeling in a number of ways. The exclamations, "sell out," "Uncle Tom," "house nigger," and "you ain't black." All of these phrases express this sentiment, the feeling of having been betrayed. And poor blacks certainly have a right to feel this way. W.E.B. Du Bois put forward the idea of the talented tenth, by which he meant that if support, attention, etc. were given to a talented tenth of the black community, that this talented tenth would then turn around and improve things for the other 90% of the black community. The idea of the talented tenth functions as a promise. In the wake of all so-called racial incidents and the like, such as the assault on Rodney King, or whenever the plight of the black poor gains attention, there is always a group of black leaders who rush in and say that if more blacks had this job or that job, then things would improve for the rest of the black community, and this incident would never have happened. As human beings, when blacks hear such statements, they have the right to interpret them as promises. That's what they are, promises. And we all know the reality, the situation that is described by Cornel West in his book, Race Matters. When these black leaders obtain the jobs that they want, when they achieve the success that they are aiming for, they turn their backs on blacks and don't even recognize them as human beings. Black children are often beaten by the police while black policemen are looking on. Then, rather than live up to their promises, rather than acknowledge the black community's feelings of having been betrayed, these black leaders viciously assault the black poor instead. This video opens up with a clip of one such assault on the black poor for expressing frustration and feelings of being betrayed. What the video depicts is a young black male trying to improve his lot. Hasn't seen any improvements or changes in the education system, in job training or the job market, so he's out doing the best that he can, selling bootleg CDs and DVDs, selling loosies and mixtapes. When he is ignored by a representative of the black middle class, he expresses frustration and attempts to give vent to his feelings. He attempts to ask, where is the change? Where is the improvement that you black leaders promised? One of the things he says in attempting to say this is, you ain't black. Rather than this being an opportunity for education, the black poor person is instead miseducated by another black person, taught to be confused about racism and what racism consists of, miseducated about himself, his feelings, and about his cultural and political reality. Another example of this that comes to my mind is from one of those television police shows. Christopher B. Duncan, you know, the brother from the Jamie Foxx show, was playing a cop, and he was escorting another brother who was dressed all hoodie, you know, a representative of the black poor. The brother says to the cop, yo man, you supposed to be looking out. And Christopher Duncan's character responds by saying, hey, don't blame me, because you're what they see whenever they look at us. Here, the black poor are being blamed for the continued existence of racism. The black poor are being blamed for the failures of the black leaders, as well as the not so talented 10th. And as a would-be philosopher, I would certainly be remiss if I did not point out that the phrase, you are what they see whenever they look at us, is philosophically invalid. As such, it represents a determined attempt by the black middle class to distort the black poor's perception of self and others. It is a subject so deep that I'll try to come back to it in a later video. In the book Race Matters, one of the phrases that is used to conclude the chapter entitled The Crisis of Black Leadership is this. To be a serious black leader is to be a race-transcending prophet. Now, traditional logic would dismiss this sentence as nonsense. Citing the A equals A, traditional logic would point out that Cornel West is saying that A equals B. However, following Derrida, I'm going to examine the phrase's own internal logic, the logic it gets from the text and the context. To be a serious black leader means that black people remain locked into being led by black leaders. Is to be a race-transcending prophet means that black leaders not only aren't locked into representing the black community, but that they shouldn't represent them. Because Cornel West does not treat blacks as human beings, because he does not consider the thoughts, feelings, experiences, and history of black people, the idea that black people might say to themselves, hey, the black leaders aren't working out, let's find another form of representation, isn't taken into consideration at all. If the black leaders are free to be race-transcending, transracial, international, post-racial, etc., why do black people remain confined to being represented by the black leaders? Shouldn't black people also be free to look beyond race, beyond the black leaders, for representation, for information, for expression of political and cultural sentiments, etc.? Cornel West liberates the black leader from black people, but he does not liberate black people from the black leaders.